All right, so I'd like to call the meeting of the Townsend Affordable Housing Trust to order for Monday, the 29th of July at 1 p.m. Actually, it's 1:18. Could I have a roll call, please?
David Whirland, present.
Cindy Boundy, present.
Beverly Napier, present.
And Veronica Kell, present. The meeting is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube later. I don't have any additions or deletions. Does anybody else?
No.
Okay. So first item of business then is to approve the minutes of May 20th. Are those the only ones that we have? I think so.
Yes, yeah, I didn't get a chance to finalize the other ones, because I was at home with the kids last week. I didn't have childcare, so.
Oh, wow.
So those aren't finished yet, but they will be by next time.
Yep, not a problem.
Do any of it.
All right, so anybody have any comments on it?
No.
No,
All right,
I did a quick perusal. I thought
that's the same with me. All right, so is there a motion to accept?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Second.
And do we need a date? What was
Oh,
the
the
date?
minutes of May 20th.
Of May 20th, May 20th. Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are accepted. Cindy, if you're recording, could you please let us know that at the beginning of the meeting?
Whoever turned my thing on?
Could you
Who
explain,
turned my camera off? Who turned my camera off?
I did.
Thank you.
could you explain to us what the purpose of this is, given the fact that this is all being recorded for the town anyway?
Also, my understanding is that if someone is recording, they need to announce that at the beginning of the meeting, and we were starting the meeting and there was no one there.
No, I don't.
You don't have to announce that you're recording us?
You knew I was because you turned it off.
Can you tell us the
I-
purpose of this, please?
I know, I
United
don't,
States Constitution, the First Amendment.
oh, please.
That, do you not agree with the First Amendment?
I
You're
agree, I agree completely
Do
with
you
the First
understand what the
Amendment.
First
I
Amendment
do not
says?
agree with misinterpretations of the First Amendment.
Oh, this is a
But-
misinterpretation?
I don't understand the purpose of it. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand the purpose of it. We're recorded here. Everything that we say is recorded and it's online and it's here. So
Where
I
is it
don't,
online?
it's on YouTube.
It's on
All
the
of our
town
When will
meetings,
it be posted?
all of our you
When?
can see all of our meetings.
No, I
on-
can't. They're not all posted, number one. Number two,
Oh,
It
well,
takes-
which ones aren't posted?
it takes up, I will get that to you if you'd like. If you
Cindy?
also,
Yeah, I would like
TCAM
that.
TCAM has equipment failures on a regular basis.
Cindy and
they-
Cindy,
some
one
meetings-
second, please. Cindy Boundy.
Yes.
Any citizen that attends a meeting is allowed to record it.
Okay, should they notify us and let us know that we're being recorded?
Actually, in the state of Massachusetts, they did away with that clause about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh, well, I apologize. So knock
Because it
yourself
goes
out
against the
and
First
record us.
Amendment.
Knock yourself out
But
and
the
record
reason
us.
I did-
Okay, why don't we get to
Yeah,
that?
no, I want to get, no, I would like to, that's, all I'm asking is why.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna lower my voice because we started yelling at each other and I want to sincerely apologize about getting that. But I do it because I want to make sure that the public is getting information in a very timely manner, as fast as I possibly can. And all the meetings, it's not you.
And where does the public
Can I-
get this information?
Let me tell you, I'm gonna talk. Will you let me
Well,
speak?
we know that you talk. Go ahead, Cindy.
Well, you asked a question. I do it because I want to make sure people get things in a very timely manner and to everybody. Like right now, I don't know, he doesn't need to answer me, but some meetings get put on Channel 9 right away. Only 1,950 people, as of a couple months ago, are subscribers to cable and can get Channel 9. There's more than another 1,000 people who never get Channel 9 because they don't have cable, including myself. YouTube, the town of Townsend's YouTube channel, he might post this meeting within 24 hours, he might even get it in today. I don't know, I don't know what the difference is between now or 2 weeks from now. Some of the meetings don't get posted at all, because of equipment failures, or it takes up to 2 weeks for meetings to get posted. The equipment failures, they just had one in the Board of Health, the first 2 minutes of the meeting, no audio. It's happened to the selectmen repeatedly. There are plenty of issues. I've been paying, because I'm retired, I have time, and I listen to all their
And
other
so
meetings.
you're recording that for your own personal
No,
gain?
no. For what?
Your own personal gain
It
somehow?
could be. If I want to make.
Where does it get
Where
posted?
is it?
Where do
I
they
mean,
get
I need to
posted?
know where to
Ron,
get
Can
your
I
stuff.
finish speaking?
Yeah,
No, we
Ronnie,
have
let
a
her
question.
finish,
Then-
please,
Then I
Oh,
will
okay.
please.
make sure you know.
But where do they get posted?
Where do they get posted? I know where to get the ones that the town is
My own
recording.
YouTube channel.
Oh, my
Which I
goodness.
put on, which
Okay.
I put also.
And
the
do you
face-
edit them before you put them on? Do you add things
I
to them
put
before
faces
you?
on you and Mickey Mouse ears. Would you like that?
Is that what you're doing?
No. They
So
are
you
exactly,
are,
everything that's happening right now is being recorded and is going to be on my YouTube channel before midnight, unless I have an equipment failure, and it might be tomorrow morning. But I get these videos out to the people as soon as possible.
And nothing is,
But-
nothing
no,
is
nothing
edited.
is edited
Is that
and no
correct?
comments are
Is
made.
that
And
correct?
there's no
Nothing is
comments?
edited?
Because that's not
I'm
what
not
I've
saying,
heard.
no, for the most part, I can do whatever I want, first of all. The First Amendment allows me to do
Right.
whatever I want.
Right,
My
and so
meetings,
can we,
the videos I've been putting on have not been edited. There's some people trying to tell people that, but I don't even know how, to be honest, to do some of the editing. If something it needs to be edited off the beginning, I gotta try to figure out how to put on whoever, the video of whoever changed that. There's 2 videos now. The one where you turn my video off and when I turn it back on. So I wanna have that video of you going over and changing
well,
it.
if there is a camera running in a room that I'm in and there's no person behind that camera and there's no way that we know exactly what's being recorded or what's being done with it, I think it would be a good idea to let people know. That's all.
It's a public building, you're public officials in a public building, I'm a public person. Nobody in this town hall has, privacy is not, there's no such thing as privacy. in the
Not for an unmanned camera. That is an exception. So
Well,
let's make that clear.
Yeah,
We'll
so,
figure that out.
all right, back to our meeting.
Yes.
Because that's the reason that we're here. So we've approved the minutes that we have. All right, going on to 2.2. MHP's findings for the Blood Road property, the type of housing to explore for the site. So in the meeting packet was the wetland
And I can share
results.
that.
Yeah. And basically, it came up with the analysis that was done is that there is no constraints. So our property is,
These
That-
2.
yeah,
And this is the supposed river. That is
Right
not a
there,
river.
yeah.
So that is where it starts as labeled, and that is where it stops as labeled.
right, and they flagged them as well, so if you go to walk out there, you'll see the flag.
Great.
So yeah, there isn't an issue with wetlands there, which is great.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So unfortunately, Laura from MHP was going to come today, but unfortunately she's sick, so she can't. But I did have a conversation with her, so I could share what we talked about. Let me just pull up my notes. Unfortunately did not take copious notes because I thought she was going to be here, but I can share what we talked about. So she said that we can, sort of she was gonna go over the next steps, but basically the next steps for the trust are to talk about what types of property, which I already talked to her about how the trust in general likes the small cottages, at the cottages in the woods, and that sort of idea of having sort of the open space in the middle and the ability for people to have sort of their own standalone houses, which seems more in keeping with Townsend. She said that that's great. Everybody loves that model. It's a little bit tricky to do because it is more expensive to build. And so there's fewer developers that are nonprofit developers that are willing to come in and do that. And the ones that do exist, are pretty booked up right now, so it may take time. And said that one good thing to do might be for us to talk about what some other options are
Okay.
in terms of what might fit in with the town. So for instance, she mentioned that there were some properties that or some projects that she's worked on where the properties from the front look like a single family home, but there's really 3 or 4 units within it. So there's sort of,
I like that.
I wouldn't have a
Big
problem with
house,
that.
little house,
That's
back house,
probably,
barn kind of
Mm,
idea.
mhm.
you know, that's probably better overall because it's one building instead of, you know, with different units in it.
yeah, so it depends on, and they're going to take a look at, so I said we would provide a couple of different ideas, or if you guys like 1 or 2 ideas, and then they might come up with another one to suggest, and they will sort of do a mock-up of what, it won't take into, account the topography or anything like that, but sort of the general layout of what it could look like, so you can get a visual.
Did she mention a project that she had worked on that had the building?
She didn't say the specific town that it was in, but
Okay,
I think that if we requested it, she could probably
Okay.
share that information with
would
us.
you guys like to,
Do another road trip?
well, no, to get from
Oh,
her.
to get from her, you mean,
what- And maybe we can look online depending on where it is. If it's close
Yeah.
by, yeah, road trip. But otherwise,
I know.
yeah, so ask her where there
Sure.
are ones like that,
Another thing she said was that there probably won't be enough units to get tax credits to go towards this.
oh, okay.
So that's something
What's the trigger number of units
I
that you?
don't know.
Okay, that's
That'd be a question
her.
for her, yeah.
I know. Because
Um,
how many units are we talking about? Because I'm trying to think from that network meeting. with the
20, they
people
said
from Stowe
20.
was 20, because that's what they said in Stowe too, and they have, I think, 9 units or 10 units that they're putting in Stowe. and-
Yeah,
Yeah, I think she said that there's quite a few that are currently waiting for the tax credits, and I have written here, tax credits waiting through fiscal year 27. So it's a few years out that they're sort of booked up with the tax credits,
Wow.
so we wouldn't even be able to sort of get on their radar until after that, and that's if we sort of, hit that tipping point.
Wow.
well, what's coming up, FY 25. Yeah, so we're 2 years out. We're probably at least a year out anyway because of
Yeah.
the RFP process.
Yeah,
And how long it's taking to,
Yeah, so I guess it kind of depends
turn
on
around.
if you'd like to make this a faster process in which we can explore different options, or, I mean, maybe we could even sort of see what the process would be to get the tax credits, but once again, I don't know if we have enough space to get the number of
Enough
units.
units.
Mm.
So maybe our next one is tax credits.
Could be.
And we should start, and then this one not so much,
Yeah.
but,
She also said, because I know that, I believe it was mentioned before, that you all would be interested in having some age-restricted units.
yes.
So
Mm.
it's an all or nothing. You can't
Oh,
have
okay.
partially restricted.
All right.
The only way you could do it is if you did 2 technically different developments. So for instance, if the larger parcel was non-restricted and then the smaller one was restricted or something like that.
Huh.
But you can do things like make age-friendly development, so things that are ADA accessible, units that are smaller so that if people are trying to downsize, it's not technically, it's not age restricted,
Right.
but it's age friendly.
Okay.
So there are some ways that you're building for that population, but you're not necessarily, you can't restrict it. So you could have, a young couple starting out, going into the 1 bedroom instead of an older couple who are trying to move out of their large home.
Yeah.
So, there's sort of different options there then.
Can you explain to me, maybe everybody knows this except me, what's with the tax credits? What's the implication, whether you get tax credits or don't? Or what's with tax credits?
Incentive for the builders.
Oh, okay, I get it, okay.
The other question I have is around our bylaws. If we're 55 and over, our bylaws allow much more density than otherwise. So,
So that's one of the things that the engineers are going to be looking at,
right,
is what the bylaws will allow and how we can sort of get the best bang for the buck, if you will. So we can ask them to look at both doing a 55 and over and tapping into that,
mhm.
or doing sort of more of an open all
Yeah,
generations.
yeah, because it might make sense to do, you know, on this parcel.
Exactly, depending on the parcel and the
Yes,
size.
and on this one not.
So on
Because
this one, age restricted?
one age restricted, the
the
smaller
other
one age restricted,
Yeah.
and the other, because even frontage requirements are lessened for if you're age restricted.
Ah,
I like the age-friendly idea though, too.
I know, I do too.
You know,
It's smart to do it that way anyways, because I mean,
yeah,
I think there's a lot of similarities between people that are older and trying to age in the community and people that have young kids, that there's a lot of overlap there. You also don't want to have big steps and, you know, you prefer to have, you know, roll-in showers and things like that.
right.
And a lot of times too, you know, age restricted, there are people in their 50s and 60s that have grandkids living with them.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
you know, I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of,
Yeah, I'm not sure what if the restriction keeps you from having, I think they're typically like fewer bedrooms, so you probably.
fewer
can't- you
bedrooms and
probably couldn't
one
have-
person in the household, I think, has to be 55 and
Right,
older.
yeah. So yeah, you
I
probably
think,
couldn't have a whole
yeah.
family there or something like that. They're probably not made for that, quite that. Okay, so yeah, we can ask her to explore those different options and hopefully she'll be better by our next meeting and can come and chat a little bit more about if there's something we missed in the findings from the wetland scientists, but also what the next steps are in terms of moving this project forward. And I mean, this may be even, I can send her sort of a write-up of what we talked about, and that may be enough for her to go off of to have the engineers start pulling together the example process.
Right.
That sounds good.
Great.
She'll make it one of these our meetings. Right? One of these times she'll be
I
here.
can only hope.
Okay. All right.
It's 2 and 3.
So we don't, do we have our next meeting is in August, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's see. That would be great if she could join us.
Yeah, I'll let her know, see if she's
Yeah.
able.
Summer's tough.
I know. Because when's our next meeting? August
19.
19th.
All right.
Draft
So,
language?
yeah, MBTA.
That might even have loads.
My biggest concern was that they put in something about affordability. And I thought they did,
That they didn't?
that they did. I thought they did.
Have a copy of that.
I think last meeting.
Yeah, it was also in that packet.
This is the Westport Salon unit.
That's too far away.
Better?
Oh, that's better. Okay. I know, it's like, wow.
Ready to scroll. Everybody caught up?
Yeah.
Bring it up a little bit. Okay, good.
Go ahead and scroll. Yeah, and
So far, I don't have any issues. Do you? So far?
the only thing that I would say in the first is that where it says 10%.
It's 1 in 10.
We had a
Okay,
minimum
all right.
before, didn't we?
How many are we going to be able
We had a
to?
minimum, but can you scroll that back up? That's the only sentence that I would question and what's in. Let me just look at that again. It's one a little bit higher.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
It's 10 or more.
Okay, all right, that's another way to,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
I would have,
Can I ask one question, and maybe on the 80% of area medium income, that's us, not Cambridge and Belmont?
they
it's all
specify
They specify what
as
it is.
published by the, you know, they,
Yeah, so I thought
Which one do
we
we fall
could
into? Is that
decide
what
on
you-
that. I thought the town, because, no,
no, usually you have to use the.
all right, this
um,
is MBTA.
The standard, this is MBTA communities.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we couldn't name it. We're always using an index, some sort of index.
Well, but
And
it says
usually it's
at or
Middlesex
below.
County. Yes.
Oh, that's true too.
So as
Thank
long as you
David.
have that, you're
At or
fine.
below 80%, so we could, I'm just saying if they're using numbers from Newton and Cambridge,
Which are way higher.
it's way higher than out here,
And they do.
and they do,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what.
but we
that's
have
what I meant.
discretion. It says at or below.
Yeah, at or below, thank you,
Yeah.
David, that's,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, go back up to where we were.
Down?
Yeah. We did change it to the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. Okay. And they have rental preference for town townsend. That was what I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That was what we wanted to see in there, so, and the wording looks good.
What's the last? What's J?
Site plan review.
What is the term by right residential developments? By right.
So by right means that they do not need to get a special permit in order to, so just like in the single family zoning we currently have in much of Townsend, you do not have to go before the planning board and get a special permit.
Like an A&R.
Kind of, yeah.
Got it.
So this would allow somebody to build a multifamily home without having to go through the whole special permit process, basically, which is just, when you add on extra layers, it,
Cha-ching.
Takes
Yeah.
longer.
yeah.
Yeah,
people
it
don't
takes
want it.
longer. It costs more money. Good. Is that the end? Just the site plan review, the last?
Yeah, the I is the only one that was specifically about housing. I mean, there's a whole bunch here, but I don't know if you necessarily want to go through it all.
We can read the whole thing, no, I'm only joking. No, I'm good with it.
I'm okay with it. Bev?
So if
Do we
you,
need a motion or are we good?
you can if you want to, and then I could write something up if you'd like, saying that the trust endorsed a section or something, or if you just want to say nothing, I think that also says that you have no issues with it.
Yeah, I think you might just want to tell them that we all, by consensus, we agree.
No issues.
We like the wording that's there. We have no problems. It was nice of them to run it by us. Next one's the hazard mitigation plan, and that has to be in by Friday, correct?
Okay. This way?
Yeah. Um,
So
I read that somewhere. I don't know where I read that, but I did read that.
it's in the memo portion.
Okay.
Um,
So I looked at the table for the,
yeah, that's what we're gonna look at. I was looking at this just before. So this was not done by, this was done,
during COVID.
yeah, I was gonna say, I
I was
think it was
on the committee.
2020, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It started even before that because I wasn't even running for selectman when we were doing this.
so wherever it says housing authority, it's kind of general housing. It's not necessarily just pointing to the housing authority, because some of it's talking about creating or building affordable housing, which is not their charges, we're charged. So.
I don't even think we had the trust when this was, the trust wasn't in place when
You're
this
probably right.
came into play.
So what we're looking to do here is to go through these different, to go through the different things that are in here and say if this is something that we have already done, how to go about doing it, or if it's something that we're, if it's not the right time right now, or we, like, for instance, if we've already done something, we can say, oh, that's already done, we don't have to worry about it anymore. Or if something is no longer valid because, for instance, like if the property was no longer part of the town, then it wouldn't matter if we were building on it or not. So the first one here is to conduct classes for residents with limited English fluency. I don't know if that necessarily falls under the housing, but
The only way it would, I think, is if we had a housing development and we included that as one of the things, if we saw a need for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have in there, but
Yeah,
I don't know that that's anything that we're really gonna do at this point. I don't know. What do you guys think?
we're trying to do
I
that.
think it's outside of our purview. I think that it's necessary for a lot of departments, for the whole town, for example.
Right.
I don't see why specifically we need to take that.
I do know that from that network meeting,
Mm-hmm.
that they've talked about, so you build family housing and you get all these people here, and then like sometimes it might be on the edge of town or it might be far away, so you want to help them be successful and make
Mhm.
sure that they have things that are successful. So I think that maybe this might be more kind of a broader thing, like we're not there yet, but maybe it's something that, I don't know.
Okay.
Or would
I'd
that
say
be-
just kind of leave it, I think. I mean, it's something to
I
consider.
would leave it. I would not take it out. I would
Yeah.
leave it. We certainly don't have to implement it. They're just suggestions, but I would, that's my thing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if we ever get a development.
yeah, this can be something that, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down the line, there's a development, then we can, this is not a, we have to make a plan and move forward with it right now. This is more of a check-in. What has happened? What can we begin to implement so that we can make sure that we are continuing to move in this plan that has been created? Because one of the worst things you do in government is you create a plan and you put it on a bookshelf and you say, it doesn't look pretty, and we'll revisit it when it's time to make the new one. You want to make sure that you're implementing it along the way.
Mhm.
All right, so we can move to the next one, which is about making sure that people who are low-income residents are being thought of when coming to thinking about flooding and natural disasters and things like that.
That might be something, if we do, making sure we have a large enough culvert there where we have the easement for the water department, where the water flows across the street there.
Or it might also be good to ensure that,
Conservation will make sure that we do,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Of course.
But just in case.
we might want to make sure that, for instance, we're not in the 100-year or even 200-year floodplain in any building that we're doing, that we're conscious of the fact that, things
Yeah.
are changing and we need to make sure that we're thinking about the future, not just,
Yeah.
5 years into the future.
Mhm.
And yeah, once again, seeking grant funding for any assistance for low-income residents. And future housing projects. So that may be ensuring that, for instance, there's information about like cooling services, right? So when we have a really hot day, for instance, there isn't air conditioning in the units, which I think is typical when you're building now, but making sure that people know that if the library is open as a cooling center, they know how they can get to the library, for instance, or what other services may be available if there's a power outage or something like that.
Mhm.
Anything else we want to add or move along?
I'm looking at increase more services in future. Is that where we are? Or-
Yes.
What do they mean by that?
So that's my interpretation, is thinking about making sure that people, because this is looking at preparing and adapting to natural disasters, climate change, hazard mitigation. So thinking about things that may be coming and how we can make sure that people are prepared for that. Even if it's information about, don't drive through flooded areas.
Mhm.
I think it's something that if you don't think about it, it doesn't look like a lot of water. It can become a lot of water very quickly, so.
That's like information, clean more local services. I'm just,
It's pretty broad. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what,
yeah, what they mean by
Yeah.
that, local services in the future.
I think because there's not, like, we don't have a lot of services here, like, we're not like an Acton or but I think it's more like, just make sure that there's someone that's connecting with this neighborhood, so that, like you said, like, if, they can get a brochure on flooding, or where they could go, if, like, it's so that you don't have a housing development that you put a bunch of people in, and everyone then drives away, and no one knows what's happening over there, and nobody's in touch with them. Like, if it's a 55 and older community and you have older people living there, like, you might just want to have a thing where the senior center, you
Runs
can
a
reach out,
bus in the morning.
or
To pick up people.
to pick up people that need a ride, or if you have, the community outreach
Okay.
person in case someone needed a
Right.
service, or if someone, and so I think for this, like, in case there was like a townwide outage, or if there was flooding, or it was like, just so that there's some communication, so that people can,
Maybe the fire department, if there's, an outage, goes down to make sure that the 55 and older community, right, everyone's okay and accounted for.
yeah, like, yeah.
No,
Right.
no,
Like,
no
no one's-
issues here, there's nothing like, I don't know, ventilators or something that always comes up, right?
Exactly.
Those don't work if there's no electricity, so
Right.
you need to be very careful, make sure that those people can get.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're talking about. I mean, I don't think they're
Okay.
talking about, like, we're gonna send, a whole Humvee unit in and get them out in lifeboats. I mean, God forbid that happened, but I mean, it happened in Leominster. But I think it's more to just keep in mind, we created this community, and you want to make sure that they have supports that they need. I think that's how I interpret it.
Yeah, that's how I'm interpreting it as well.
All right.
So,
it's good. It's a good thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
So I think we're good. Down to that one, there we go. Local businesses. So I guess this would just be making sure that,
There's new business owners.
They know about that.
yeah,
That's, seems a little odd. I mean, there's nothing wrong with leaving it there, but it seems to me that new business owners would be motivated on their own to reach out to everyone in the community and beyond to support their business, no?
I would think so.
Yeah,
So why
I
does
know.
it,
I'm a little
why does it
lost
be,
on this
why
one.
does it
Yeah,
befall
it's throwing me.
the housing
Yeah.
authority to somehow steer that. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I'm not against the idea of it, but it seems kind of superfluous, doesn't it?
I know.
And in this town, they're gonna create an economic center to help make business plans?
Well, that doesn't
Railway?
apply to us, honey. It was
Oh my
the
God.
housing authority. See above,
Ay, ay, ay.
but
Mm.
you know, where is this by the way?
Well, there was a whole group of people.
Okay, so.
No.
I think it says it in the plan, it has a list of everyone who's on the committee and.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it
Pretty
seems
much
like it
every
is
board.
comprehensive to a fault.
Yeah.
Yes. I will say, I did one of these and I worked on one of these in my prior community and there's sort of like a checklist that they go down and sometimes you say like, this doesn't apply to our town whatsoever, like, let's just take that off. But
Mhm.
a lot of these, because you don't want to start from scratch, you're going to forget something. So they have sort of a generic one that then they'll add things in and take things out. But some of these you can say like, yeah, we'd love to have more of an economic base. Let's put that in, it could be something like that.
Well, there's nothing harmful about that. It's fine. I'm fine with that. Anybody else have an opinion?
I just think the housing authority should be removed from that one. I do. If I were gonna remove, it would be that one, because I don't see that happening.
Mm.
That's
Which
all.
one?
It's a
The
letter
very first.
I
The
don't
first one, yeah.
organizing community events. I don't know, that gets a little bit more challenging. I mean, just
Mm.
writing a letter to all the people in the affordable housing community saying, from the new business owners, we could facilitate that, writing a letter, creating an event. I'm not quite sure
Yeah.
what's an example of that. What kind of an event would you do to introduce new business owners?
It could be something like it's like a little town fair or something like that, where they, have different,
Could you set up
have
a
different
table at a
booths set
band
up or
concert?
something, I don't know.
Sidewalk sales.
Yeah, it could be.
It does. But I agree with the third one, that I agree to leave planning and development there. But housing authority,
I mean, you can encourage the new business owners to give some kind of a coupon or discount or something
Incentive.
special that then gets distributed via the housing authority to those residents.
well, that's true.
That's an
That
event.
could-
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I wonder too if it was something like a new yoga studio opening in town or something. They might want to go and do a class, for the housing authority. I don't know.
Well, often when you buy a house,
assume a community,
often when you
space,
buy a
right?
house, there is
Packet.
some group in the town is a welcome packet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the welcome packet, all the businesses, that want to expose themselves to those people who've moved in. So, bring this
Yeah.
voucher, you get, that kind of thing. So it's like a welcome packet. It's not really an event, but it's something
Yeah,
that we could do. So again, I don't have an issue with the concept. It's just,
I almost feel like it's a typo. Because there's no bullet in front of planning and development.
I think it's an
And we're not
all-encompassing. I think the bullet
bolded.
is.
We're not bolded either.
I,
Right.
So-
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's interesting, isn't it? We're not bold.
Right.
Well, do you want to remove it? Do you think that that's something you just want to hand off to the planning?
I would remove that
I would
from
too.
that.
I would too, because yeah.
I don't care. So you guys vote. I'm a no.
You think
Yeah,
we should leave it?
you want-
You want to vote to remove it, right?
Yeah,
So does someone make a motion to remove housing authority from this particular part?
okay, so is that a motion, Dave?
No, because I don't care.
You think
I'm
leave
fine
it?
leaving it alone, but I'm not trying to influence you guys. So if someone makes a motion to want to remove it, it's 3 against 1. Go for it. Remove it. I'm just telling you what my feeling is. It's not that big a deal.
I don't know.
I don't like it.
I don't see us ever happening. I don't see it ever happening, is what it
Not with the
comes
housing
down to.
authority. I really
Not with
don't.
the housing
No.
authority,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
No.
it's kind of not in our purview, you
Yeah,
know, like it's
yeah.
kind of,
If we're, I don't know, if we're focused on housing,
yeah, creating housing. Like, I think what you said makes perfect sense, but is it our role to make welcome baskets?
So maybe,
Make a motion.
No.
maybe what the issue is that housing, it says housing authority, and that's sort of all encompassing for all housing committees, if you will. Maybe it needs to be broken out, and this needs to be specifically housing authority, and maybe we need to add trust further up in some of the other ones so that it's more delineated.
Oh, that's a good idea, Erin. That's a good idea. Yeah,
Because this might be something that the housing authority might want to do to
Okay,
ensure that
yeah.
they are more
Right,
yeah,
welcoming
that's
to the
true.
community.
I'll buy that.
yeah.
all right, then let's just leave it there, because I assume they're also looking at this.
Yes, not by Friday, but they will be looking at it.
Okay.
Someday.
All right.
So would
Well-
you like to go back up to the top and see if you want to add trust to
Trust
the
to
other
the
ones?
Affordable Housing Trust.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Sorry, this is how I was looking through them all so I could find them again. Okay, so this might once again be something that is for the housing authority conducting language
Mhm.
classes.
Yeah, I don't see us doing any of this, but the one about the climate stuff, the flooding and all that.
Creating the actual housing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, down here. So maybe we add in the housing trust for when we're building and, building more housing, I guess.
But which one?
Seek grant funding for flood hazard mitigation and assistance for low-income residents, that one.
Okay, that one, yeah. Maybe both of those, the one under.
I mean, we're gonna look
two.
for grant funding for
These
everything
two?
anyway.
Right,
Mm.
yeah, those two, do you guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
So add the housing
Yeah.
trust to those two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, we can break it out so that it's a little bit more clear
Good.
who's in charge of what.
Okay.
So you're saying that going forward, we'd like to look for more grant funding specifically for doing flood hazard mitigation? Is that sort of our next step, maybe? So we want to come away, I think, with not only looking at what is this truly applicable to the trust, but also what we can do to help move it forward, right?
Mhm.
Which, I mean, I think the first step is looking to continue building the affordable
Right.
housing, but
right,
See, I think,
but to consider these things
Right.
in
Well, in
the-
particular, if we are in a 100-year flood zone
Mhm.
in any of the properties, and I'm gonna guess we are.
I would guess maybe South Row is, and that one.
At least that one.
Yeah, I don't know about the others, because they're kind of high up.
Mhm.
Same with the Elm Street and kind of high up.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I just think that the housing trust has a much more limited scope of what we are trying to accomplish and do than the housing authority. And so it seems to me personally that all of these things, even those last two that we were talking about, really should come from the housing authority. They should seek the funding for that. And then once we have some land, we take our marching orders from them in effect. That's the way I see it.
So looking at that, taking that into consideration, seek grant funding for flood hazard mitigation. It's more of an incorporate flood hazard
Right.
into our buildings, or whatever projects we have.
so maybe it's including climate resilience into building.
Consider climate resilience
There you
in building,
Mhm.
in building affordable housing. But the seeking assistance for low-income residents, if they got flooded, I think that's a housing authority thing, not really us.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we're just building.
Yeah.
So then maybe we should just leave this as housing authority.
I think so.
Okay.
I think
And
so.
not,
Even-
and not delineate.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
might be able to add somewhere else into here. We'd have to, I'll have to go through it and look. And I can talk to Jessica and see where she thinks it might fit in as well. But we can add in that, the Affordable Housing Trust will look at doing climate mitigation when seeking properties and building or something like that.
Yeah.
To try to ensure that we're not, creating a dangerous situation in the future. That we're adapting before anything happens,
Right, right.
preparing. Okay. And those are the only ones that have housing listed.
So we've looked at all of them already?
We have already looked at all the ones that say housing on them, yes.
Oh, okay.
Kings Road.
All right, so that is Article 4, the hazard mitigation plan. We're gonna leave it as is, basically. All right, the financial report.
Oh, no, we skipped one, did we not?
Did we?
Kings Road. Was a letter was sent or no?
Yes, the letter was sent.
Was there a response?
There was a response saying that, the owner wanted more information.
What kind of information?
So
For us to do a
specifically,
site survey?
well, no, what the trust is looking for specifically. So all we said was documentation.
Right.
So are you looking for a survey? Are you looking, this is what I
Mhm.
talked to Ronnie about. Are you looking for a survey? Are you looking for a plot plan? Are you looking for a cutting plan? Are you like, what?
I would
Basically-
say a survey, a plot plan, and a cutting plan.
Yeah, just so
Of
it's
the
clear, we
above.
know
Yeah.
where the boundaries are.
How did he know where his bounds were for
Yeah.
cutting? That's what we want to know.
He said Google Maps.
Oh,
Oh, that's accurate.
oh,
So,
oh my goodness. Okay.
so it might be that the trust, and I can speak to the homeowner, but it may be that the trust wants to invite the property owner to a meeting to have further discussion, or I don't know, or I can speak to him, but of course I can't speak for the trust. I can just relay what you all
Right.
said.
Plot plan and, plot
Cutting.
plan / survey and a cutting plan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Something done by a professional engineer or by,
I don't want, something written on a napkin.
Okay.
but- So,
professionally done.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't want
I mean, this is, it's not to be adversarial, it's simply to have some clarity about what are you cutting? How far are you cutting? Is this part of your lot? That's all we're asking. We're not trying to,
He's got to
you
have
know,
a
we need to
plot
know
plan
that
for this
because
lot,
obviously
right?
the balance of that property is owned by the trust, and the trust wants to try to consider doing something there, but without having that information, you know, it's Pandora's box down the road, and we don't really we want to avoid that.
So I
And that's
believe-
all it is. It's not, you know, how dare you? It's nothing like that. It's like, okay, just be clear. Tell us what you're doing and show us what that's based on. And hopefully that's all we need so that we can move forward. It just kind of puts us in a tough position a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So,
I will let him know that is what the
We're
trust
looking for.
would like. Yeah, to see, survey / plot plan and a cutting plan.
Yep.
That has been professionally done.
yeah, and I mean, I would, again, it's a friendly letter. It's really, we're not, just need to know
Should you invite him in for a meeting?
to read the letter.
No, but when he comes with his plot plan and his survey and his cutting plan.
Oh, well, he can deliver it, and if we
I
have
mean, does
questions.
he want it? Yeah,
I don't think we need to invite him in yet.
yeah,
No.
okay.
If we see the plot plan and the cutting, and we go, wait a minute, this just looks like it's on a napkin,
Right.
then we have, but I think, let's just try to be clear.
How did I miss things going? I must have printed them.
2.6. 2.6.
Sit up near the top. Sometimes it like kind of bleeds together with the,
I might have an old agenda in front of me here. Anyway. Okay,
Financial reports.
now financial reports. What do you have financial reports as? 2.7?
Yes.
I have it as 2.5.
so
Okay,
you
so
must
you're
have the
missing
one
one.
before.
Yeah, I printed the old version.
Okay.
So did I miss anything else?
No.
No, okay. So Aaron, it's past the start of the fiscal year.
Yes.
So, and our understanding was our budget that the town has, that at the end of the fiscal year, it would be reviewed and then we would need to do a warrant to move funds from our account to the general fund to cover your salary, anything else that we did.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah, the person before you, anything that we've done like that needs to get moved, so.
So everything for last fiscal year, I believe has been taken care of. So if there's anything that happens at the beginning of the year, we can start working on that.
But
you're saying-
it isn't reflected in here,
So this is for
end of June.
End of June, yeah. So they didn't finish doing all of the final reporting until sort of mid-July. So
Oh,
it may not reflect that yet.
All right, because that's what I was looking for and I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I
So-
believe it was like July,
Like last week.
8th or 15th or something was sort of
Okay.
like they're trying to wrap things up. It takes a little while.
Okay, all right. So next meeting on that, all right.
Anyway, by the way, I know this is not on the agenda, but have we had any date certain from the forester yet? Or a
I
start date
haven't.
or any further communication other
No,
than the contract was sent?
the contract has not been sent because you said you wanted the town forester to take a look at it first. And I'm still waiting for that.
I did?
response back.
I didn't, did I?
In the meeting.
The Damasuko?
Who's the first?
No.
Who's the first?
Dawn is our, yeah,
He still
Dawn
is,
is,
okay.
So,
he's the tree warden.
no, we only wanted Don to take a look at the prices for lumber.
Yes,
And
And that was already done, I thought. And he said, yeah, that's pretty
he
much what
did
it
it for
is.
last year, but
you said you wanted him to take another look.
he did it for the
Oh,
last
boy.
year.
This is being ridiculously delayed and probably over a pittance of a difference on the lumber prices, is my guess.
So should we just go forward with it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why Don can't take a look at this. It would take 5 minutes. I mean, why?
He's
Yeah.
on vacation.
That's what I said earlier. The summer is a tough time.
Let's just move ahead with it.
Gosh,
What's he gonna tell? Don's gonna say, oh, yeah.
Well, I called him a while ago and he looked at it and he told me, he says, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But that was
Okay.
months and months and months ago.
So let's just move on.
I mean, does anyone in the room have any thoughts about lumber prices changing radically in the last 6 months?
No. If anything, they've gotten less. Anyway, so,
I wish we would move forward with that. I feel like if he is scheduling projects, we are probably,
Yeah.
we're in 26 by now.
Okay, so I can
Send it.
expedite, yeah,
okay, so we can,
the contract to
I won't
the,
worry about.
it does
back
have
from
to go back to
vacation.
the select board.
Send it.
Has
Yes.
it gone back to the select board already?
No, because you said you wanted to check first.
Oh, well, it's already signed. right?
Yeah, so the select board just has to review it.
Yeah, the select board has to review it, so send it back to them and get on the.
Yeah,
schedule
I mean,
for that.
maybe someone on the select board will say, oh, wait a minute, look at the lumber prices here.
They won't.
Yeah,
I can do that, and then we can, see if we can get
so
on to the
it's
next
the
meeting.
second bullet in the minutes, I knew I had read it.
What says what?
The town tree warden would be asked if the scope of services was still
And
acceptable.
what was the date of that?
This was May 20th.
Okay. It's July 20th tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's,
All right, so let's get it to the select board and we'll go from there. We just need to get that rolling. Okay.
All right.
Anything
Sorry, I
else?
just didn't see that on the agenda. And I thought, it's done. It's a done deal.
Any other
No.
questions? Anything? No. All right.
I believe, other than the, from the, sorry?
From Laura?
Oh, no, well,
No.
yes, she did send that in, but that was already reviewed.
Right.
No, the email from the, Haynes Road property,
All right.
yes. And the other, abutter notice was received. We haven't heard anything back, but I sent it, certified, so we know that it was received.
Our next meeting date is August 19th at 1 p.m. The joint meeting was moved to September 12th at 6 p.m. So, and we'll get a clarification on quorum. I'll show you what I have. And that is it. Is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, before we do, Cindy, what's your YouTube channel?
Is your email still decal@Comcast or Verizon?
No, I'd like to put it in the record so the people that are watching this
Oh,
can
thank you
know.
very much. It's, thank you for the free advertising. It's, real deal around Townsend, Mass, Townsend, MA.
Around.
And anyone can go on YouTube, it's open, and please, I'm posting all kinds of public information.
And is this one of those sites where if you click on something, you get money for it?
I am not currently monetized, so no,
Okay.
I absolutely right now, and I invite people to subscribe and like my videos, but I am not monetized, I don't get any money. But I would, right now, I'm not able to post live because I don't have enough subscribers. So I really would like people to subscribe to my channel so that once I have enough, then I can do videos live.
Spelled Real Deal?
I would spell it R-E-E-L.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, it's R-E-E-L.
That's what I would do.
Oh,
It is, it's real, it's
Okay.
not R-E-A-L, it's R-E-E-L.
Thank
Deal
you.
at Around Townsend, MA.
Clever, I like it.
A motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting
I
of the
second.
Townsend Affordable Housing Trust.
All those in favor?
I.
Aye. Thank you very much.